Okie dokie. Hello, every folks, and good morning. All right, we'll give this a little bit of a quick second here to see if the settings are working right, because it's currently looking like this is probably way too loud. All right, that's looking maybe a bit better. All right, let's go ahead and apply this and do one of these. And hopefully the controller's working now, and there we go. Okie dokie, let me get the chat pulled up in the background, and we can get going on this little tree here. So, okay, purpose of the stream here today was relatively simple. Some of the comments that I got going over the sort of like first impressions for Outer Worlds 2 the other day was more or less along the lines is it really fair to call this a New Vegas successor? Because New Vegas did a lot of really cool things with its with its setting, its tone, its story, all of that sort of thing. And obviously, I haven't exactly gone and completed this whole thing, so I don't know necessarily how far it goes. But they did bring up the point that when it came to Outer Worlds 1, it was similarly a case where it was kind of marketed as a case of potentially a New Vegas kind of successor of sorts. And I mean, to an extent, it succeeded. To me, it felt like I was trying to say at the time. It felt like the diet version of New Vegas when it came to the first Outer Worlds. Also, I probably should have loaded this up before getting it started, but whatever. I suppose it's a time to go ahead and talk about stuff real quick. But the thing is, it had a lot of the same kind of ideas, but in general, stuff was designed in a more condensed way. Also, wait, what on earth is this? Hold on. Hold on. Computer's getting angry at me over settings or what have you. Uh, Hold on just a second here. Here, let me go ahead and adjust a few things here. First things first, is there anything left in the food category? No. Let's go ahead and use one of those real quick. Second thing, let me see if I can get chat and stuff going on here. Because it was being a little bit of a pain in terms of popping up. Hang on. Huh. Okay, interesting ads it's forcing to be viewed here, but whatever. Okay. Let's go to the chats and such, and there we go. It is alive, it's living, I can actually see if anybody posts anything. Alright, so, here, let me get my notepad, and what I want to do is kind of keep a running tally of what we can kind of consider to be kind of like New Vegas, and what we can consider to be not like New Vegas. So, actually, I probably should have gotten this ahead of time, but either way. So let's go ahead and get this. So, we'll have one category for yes, one category for no. And just sort of like keep score of this stuff as we go along. So first things first, let's go ahead and turn off the radio, but that'll probably be the first point. Is the radio as good as something like New Vegas? There's less of it, but I gotta say it's actually been pretty darn funny overall. I'd say it's probably something closer to... radio-wise, I'd probably describe it, compared with New Vegas so far. It's kind of like if you compare, let's say, Vice City Stories to San Andreas, where like it's not exactly as many variations, but it does react regularly to the stuff that you do. Has interruptions to news reports. You see updates to propaganda that are popping up on your loading screens and stuff. And it actually does account for all of these things. So I'm going to say in that regard, it's probably 1 point for it being like New Vegas. The music has been solid. As far as the songs go, I'm pretty sure they've all been originals, because they're basically about the various corporations in universe and stuff like that. So there's been a surprising amount of catchy jingles and whatnot going on. So that's been kind of neat. So yeah, in general, I'd say as far as the radio is concerned, that definitely counts as a point towards it. As far as character building, do we get to see as much personality in this one as we saw, let's say, in New Vegas there? And as far as As far as initial builds go, I'd say while the actual ways that you took to get there are a bit different, to my mind, it feels like a solid yes in that particular regard. So let me explain what I mean. It's like when you start off, you're starting off with a lot of the same stuff in terms of you pick your ones that you're particularly good at. So, for example, I picked observation and speech for my guy here, but you essentially picked a few things that you were good at, and then from there you went and selected a few other kind of traits, and you could just go and select and essentially keep on taking negatives as well as just kind of taking negatives to offset your positives as you went along. And in terms of whether or not this matters in the long run and whether or not you can kind of stat dump to avoid this stuff, like this is one of those ones that I was mentioning in that first impressions for probably being another in the yes category. And in fact, arguably it did this better than New Vegas did in some ways. Now, before anyone gets mad about that, let me explain. So, when it came to a lot of the same ideas that these were bringing to bear, a lot of these were stuff that people would, let's say, go around to forums and such and start like theorizing their characters around. Like I remember when even before New Vegas was releasing, there were people talking about how they're like going to go for sniper and ninja and cowboy and stuff like that, and just go for all of these sort of like Western sharpshooter, cowboy kind of builds, and that kind of stuff was prevalent all over the place. And so in many cases, these are ones that are kind of giving you a far more generalized setup for a lot of the stuff that would have been used back in the day. So I think in a minute we'll probably start a new character just to kind of show how this goes. But like the fact that you can actually combine a lot of these together for various skill checks, I personally found to be pretty darn interesting. That instead of having like skill thresholds for certain things, the combination of these different tags can potentially be interesting. So, like, there was a character recruitment kind of thing running into a guy that was a religious zealot, talking about how it's like his God given right to go judge everybody around him. And in that process, the combination of brawny and dumb put up a dialogue option that said, "Hey, I'm going to use." It was something like, "I'm going to use these God-given muscles to beat your ass" or something. And it's just the combination of these different things is fun to see. Additionally, there's also been a few other ones that have been weirdly willing to commit to completely ruining your save file just because it's funny. Like, I've had to shell out ungodly amounts of money over the course of this playthrough. I don't know if that stat is listed anywhere because of kleptomania. My character literally cannot help himself but accidentally steal things anytime that he's in society. And so regularly I'll just be browsing shops trying to find characters to talk to, and they're like, "Oh, you have stolen, XYZ random expensive shit off the counter." Like, I hope you're ready to pay up. So yeah, it's I gotta say in that regard, again, that's another kind of point towards it as far as I'm concerned. And if anybody has any, questions or stuff like that as we carry along, by all means, let me know. Though I will say one thing that is probably a point against it is actually probably going to be in terms of the armor. So, is the armor stylish as hell? Yes. There's some absolutely just like stylish as all crap armor options. But when you're gonna have something that's listed as a trench coat and it looks like something that came out of Morrowind, I'm gonna be at least a little bit disappointed. Is it a very good item? Yes. But this is a weird excuse for a trench coat, and I don't know why it's covered in masks. It's just kind of strange. But like, I bought this thing like, oh man, I'm gonna get this like cool, cool Western duster or whatnot, and it's got the cloth physics and stuff. It's like this can be this like awesome Western look to this thing, and yeah, this thing's it just looks like that one robe from New Vegas, or not from New Vegas, yeah, from Morrowind. What is what I'm trying to say. Okay, another point that I want to point out in terms of it actually, like another point in that category of it being like New Vegas, the fact that I've been able to still stick with my starting pistols more than 20, is it like 20 hours in, something like that at this point? Definitely been really solid. As far as putting unreasonable amounts of attention into manual reload weapons, another really solid one, and in terms of making perks specifically for this, so, for example, every time that, let's say I nail a headshot with with this pistol here, it partially reloads the revolver. So it doesn't give infinite ammo or anything. It just potentially gives it infinite magazine size as long as it's landing criticals. And my aim is a little bit awful, but it's fine. It's fine. You saw nothing. Also, another kind of fun detail about this is that there's actually a limit to your healing. Again, another one in that kind of category of I think they actually handled it a bit better in this particular regard. Your medical skill actually determines how much you can heal, not just how much you heal. So instead of just worrying about stats and stuff, like you'll notice that that meter building up at the bottom is how much healing is allowed. Food healing is only allowed out of fights. So there is a lot more kind of roleplay potential there. Like if your character has no medical knowledge whatsoever, your health is potentially very limited. And another cool little detail is that you saw like this. If you're aiming down the sights, it's basically that gun. It's the 5.56 pistol. If you're hip firing this thing, it's the 357 Magnum. Again, like as far as whether or not it's bringing in New Vegas stuff, yes, but in some cases, stuff's getting combined. See a little bit of Avowed in there. I cannot really say for sure in terms of Avowed. I haven't played that particular one. But yeah. Also, this was just a really fun one. That one of the sort of craftable things that you can get fairly early on. Like, I love the goofiness of this weapon, and it's been shockingly good. But you can actually make a water pistol filled with acid. It just completely breaks things. Though I am going to want to go back to Civilization here pretty soon, because I've got nothing edible in the inventory. That was the last of my heals right there, and yeah, stuff is looking pretty dire. And additionally, I want to point out the reason that I had a certain thing on the poll the other day, which was when it came to potentially playing this as a sort of RE4 remake kind of deal. This is why right here, that your starting pistol uses the John Wick reload. And I was just thinking, like, man, the end of RE4, you've got Ashley talking about how she's going to go become like a friggin' secret agent or whatever else, and it's like, man, just do this, like pistol and knife. Like, she would probably fit in visually very accurately in this setting. But I'm gonna probably just do that off camera at some point. But anywho. All right. Also, let's go back to the armor options. So, okay, one thing I want to point out is that while the armor options, in terms of their defense and in terms of their unique things, isn't exactly necessarily that special, in terms of their visuals, they have been fairly striking. And additionally, there's actually a reason to care about some oddly specific things. So, for example, the main reason that I would want to use something like this trench coat here is because there are actually perks related to brand loyalty and stuff like that. So, like, the reason I ended up picking this up is in case I end up going for the psychopath perk, or not psychopath. It was what the hell was it? Here, let's go take a look because I has all these down here. Brand enthusiast. There we go. So extra 10 armor rating plus 20% damage if you happen to use stuff that uses the same brand, and I'm pretty sure that that counts for an unbranded kind of thing. There's additionally perks handed out for just kind of stuff you do out in the field. So, for example, just like going and picking up art and what have you. Let's see. Additional weapon slots are obvious. Stuff like using your speech skill to scale up your weapon damage and stuff like that is pretty neat. Evasion chances on armor. Like, again, there's a lot of stuff here that is a lot more interesting than the first Outer Worlds was. Things like, a trick shot here, where if you kill something with a weak spot kill, which potentially combines together with something like Serendipitous over here, where you get an innate critical chance, and then with that critical, your guns automatically reload a little bit. So if you combine that with something like Trick Shot, you can essentially shoot something, get a critical, kills the thing, that shot bounces off its face and, and hits something else, potentially also reloading. Like, it's just kind of neat with stuff like that, Genuinely, when I was saying that this is like New Vegas 2, this is the kind of stuff that I wanted to see, where it's a bit more open about how stuff works, that there aren't as many like hidden perks, that there are a lot more combinations of different skills or whatnot. Like sharpshooter, instead of being perception guns, is going to be if you invested into observation and guns and stuff like that. It's like another one of these cases of technically being a simplified version, but they're doing more complicated stuff with it. Again, I cannot appreciate enough the fact that to dedicate to a dumb build, you have to permanently sacrifice 5 of your 12 skills. I love that much more than is reasonable. So, all right. And by the way, as far as what's going on in the setting here right now, I'm probably completely misunderstanding the situation, but this is around the point that we end up potentially revisiting some of the stuff from the first Outer Worlds. So, like, I believe this is what used to be Monarch, because it sure as hell looks like Monarch, except it's basically turned into World War One down here, because there's a ongoing war between like one corporation that took over another corporation and a bunch of religious zealots and what have you. So that's kind of nifty. In terms of the graininess of everything, if you turn down the visuals, the graininess looks weirdly kind of New Vegasy. I'm not saying that's on purpose. That's probably just for the purpose of letting it do all of its fancy stuff while still while still running and whatnot. But sure feels that way. Also, I have an unreasonable amount of love for the one-handed firing animation. I'm just saying. Yes, yes, I know. This freaking slide tackle is just awesome. I should also probably point out, part of the reason that my character sucks at basically everything is not only the higher difficulty, but the fact that I took a perk early on that said, or I guess technically a flaw called Flawed, which permanently forces you to take all negative flaws going forward, and one of them was my companions do more damage and I do less. So I've got a permanent debuff to damage as well as several other things, as well as basically broken knees that crack upon crouching. I mean, this guy is old, busted, and whatever else, and realistically, I should be trying to get out of combat here. My one source of healing right now is my stealth medic. There we go. Yeah, it's technically something. Yeah, you've got a bit more play in terms of what your companions can potentially learn to do. So, like with this lady, there was the option to potentially give her like some kind of shotgun attachment to her arm, or to give her the ability to sort of stealth in out of nowhere and give you a healing cloud, which certainly feels like it was the right option. And there's a drone there. We're going to avoid that. Not very successfully. All right. Probably about to die. Almost certainly about to die, actually. Yep, definitely dead. Okay, I should just go back to town and actually restock on things, because I was just kind of exploring around, seeing what the hell was going on. But okay, so far, I mean, as far as whether it can be a New Vegas successor or not, currently got like 6 towards yes, and well, as far as no, let's go ahead and explore points for how it wouldn't be one. As far as setting, as far as I'm concerned, Western, like okay, space Western and post-apocalypse Western, I don't think there's too much of a difference between the two. Both of them are just fun ways to explore the Western genre and all of its related tropes without getting too into the weeds about things. In both cases, you've got one faction that's, well, it kind of one main faction that's very like fleshed out and civilized and whatever else, whether it's NCR or the corporations in this case. You've got another one that's full of a bunch of zealots and what have you. You know, whether it's ooh, there is There is new radio stations at this place. Sure, why not? Let's listen to the math religion. Okay, what was I getting at here? Yeah, as far as the factions go, they're a pretty good bit of fun. Like as much as one of them is just straight up deranged zealots and what have you, they do kind of sort of have at least a function in this particular case. So like the three main ones right now, because I don't see the protector in on here. I'm assuming they get a rating later because I'm still fairly early into the game here. So like you have Auntie's Choice, which is Auntie Cleo's, and Spacer's Choice, which had a war, and the people with all the cheap defective equipment lost. What a shocker! So like they're the sort of main NCR of this particular setting at this point. You've got the Subrosans, which is basically the old market ship from Outer Worlds 1, except it's a planet now. Because I guess somebody got passed up for promotion and crashed it into a moon or something. And then the Order of the Ascendant, which is basically math, religion, Caesar's Legion, kind of, sort of, a little bit. All right. Here, let's just go back to. Yeah, is I love how all of the music is just like in-universe stuff. By the way, I'm trying to listen to the music right now, and it's just like religious chants about math shit, and it's great. I love that. But yeah, if there's anything in particular, again, that you want to have checked out or ask about or whatever else, I'll try to answer it as much as I can. Obviously, this is, if we're basing it off the pacing off the first Outer Worlds, I'd say this is like maybe the 20% mark of the game so far. The first chapter was very similar to Outer Worlds 1, like where you've got your multiple kind of main factions, as it were. They're having a fight between themselves. You can sort of pick different ones. Ultimately, end up destroying part of the area. Uh, anyway, though I will say it did actually account for stupid decisions. So in my particular case, I made a weird choice in which I sided with the sort of religious fanatics, sort of. As in there was one of them that had an option to technically save everyone there, but not necessarily directly side with them, but then also ended up evacuating them later. And interestingly enough, they listed that this was now a town of traitors, now a town of horrible traitors that went and became corporate. And so the person who decided to go crash a satellite into their city as a hero now is the sort of propaganda poster that started popping up in the background. But that particular system I really like. It's like that's something Outer Worlds 1 did too. That it is pretty blatant about its world updates, and that's a decent bit of fun. All right, what the hell are you, and how are you going to be a...
Some help. We desperately need aid. Desperately.
So do I.
My family and I, we was making our way to the Mercy camp for us
Oh
refugees.
crap, he's from Boston. He came from Fallout 4. Everyone run.
My wife, my son were injured. Can't move them by myself. I had to leave them just past this tunnel so I could go for help. But being alone is even more risk. Please help us. Ain't nothing I can do for them, but you got weapon and medicines. And
No.
get us to the camp. Please. I don't vary by my guess. She was bit on the thigh, high, like can see bone. She's screaming all the time when she's awake. Then she goes to sleep. She's in agony. Hurry, please. We must hurry, or they'll be eaten, or worse.
Okie doke, this is totally not a trap. So let's see. Yeah, let's see. Do I have my shot cannon? Yes. Yeah, replace this with this. Incendiary shotgun with this one. Alright. By the way, how's the sound, if anybody can clarify?
The color of space. A chromospectral analysis.
Ready to win, boys. On your command.
The average color of Earth.
Yep.
Instead of
Lay low, Commander.
age. Your experience in his answer was the expected one. But I can already hear the
Put down
upbeat
some mines.
with their faces contorted into elliptic shapes. Average color is black or rock or simply a shade of gray? The answer is rooted in the science of how hot objects absorb and emit light, which answers the ancillary mystery of why there are no green stars.
Craft's still
To
recharging.
understand all of this,
Huh, this is like the Bill Nye the Science Guy channel. Weird.
Divarictation emission field. The typical piece
On the line, Commander.
Alright, just gonna scatter fire in their direction, see if they take the bait going to those mines.
and radio emissions. And the matter reflects only a small portion of the
All charged up.
Go. Yeah, those little meters are their awareness meters, by the way. It's,
absorb 100% of all electromagnetic radiation and re-emit
Let's get you healed. Someone call for a medic. To the rescue. Sight unseen.
stellar composition determines what packets of light will be emitted.
yeah, we're gonna switch off this radio. As interesting as this is for just traveling around, I think we're good listening to something else. Let's see. What does the Protectorate radio station sound like? Some Soviet propaganda stuff or whatnot? Sounds like it a little bit. Alright, get some explosives going.
Armed and ready.
I can't really see what the hell they're doing over there, but this does seem to be working pretty well. Like, the benefit of this particular cannon thing is it kind of goes around cover to some degree. And electrocutes dudes in weird hats.
What's up next? More music to aid in your earnest rumination of portentous societal responsibilities.
Guys in pieces. Okay, that's actually another point for New Vegas. Do people get giblified? Yes. Okay, I still have yet to have anything for the negative category. If anybody has a reason why this shouldn't be a New Vegas 2, at least as far as categorization goes, do let me know, because I'm still waiting for some of that. Alright. Let's see, what's this? Okay, interestingly enough, and even when it comes to things like, let's say, like the area design, it's really circled back on itself a lot. In fact, actually, in many ways, the area design makes me think not necessarily, I guess, of Fallout as much as it does of Deus Ex. Because oftentimes you'll start in a zone and you'll go from one zone to another zone to another zone to another zone, only to find out that they're all connecting in the middle. Alright. Yeah, nothing too nuts over here. Also, while it wasn't exactly where I was trying to get to, accidentally wound up relatively close to where I was originally going to go before. And I think at this point I might end up having to take brand loyalty just to offset how much of a damage penalty I'm currently taking off the flaws that I forced myself to accept. Which was in no way a terrible decision whatsoever. nothing down here. Yeah, I guess I don't know if this is necessarily a point for or against it. As far as your ability to hop into unexpected areas, it's been rewarded as oftentimes as it hasn't, which honestly,
Are you still upright over there?
barely, that's how. But honestly, that's not that different from the way that New Vegas handled it too. It's like oftentimes you'd get rewarded for that kind of stuff. Oftentimes you wouldn't. It's just kind of a crapshoot in that regard. All right. Though I will say, in terms of performance, my god, does this run so much better than Outer Worlds 1 did. Granted, that might have been from originally playing it on PS4. As much as this one has had its occasional crashes, especially early on, I'm actually a little bit surprised how many technical issues the early game had. But as it's gone on, it's gotten more and more stable, so that's been nice. All right. All right, what the hell is this place? 'Cause I'm pretty sure that's where I already was earlier. Yeah, this is just the old subway station and whatnot.
Day 206. Morale? Low. Condition? Feeble. Voucher mech. Watching. Always watching. Many have left for Matriarch's mercy, seeking refuge with the Order. The fools. Can't they see the Order is no different from the Protectorate? The Order won't...
Incessant muttering to oneself may disturb fellow passengers. Further conduct violations may warrant notification of the Sentinels.
Try it, you doddering rattletrap. Such threats compel me no longer. I now answer to no one. I've seen through the lies of both sides.
Is it me or has my... Anyway. Need something, Commander? Sure. Always.
Avarice and evil.
So ignore the sinful
Okay,
sovereign's call.
so let's see what we're doing here. So okay, let's talk whether or not we get interesting things out of. All right, first of all, let's break down junk and whatnot. So interesting things out of crafting, interesting things out of skills mixed with crafting. Because that was another thing that I didn't really cover as much as maybe I probably should have over the course of that sort of initial review thing. But as you go along, every time that you pick up something new, it's like let's say you pick up a new modification or something for your armor, instead of having to rebuy it over and over, you automatically, I'm assuming on account of if you have the innovative perk, or trait rather, you seem to automatically understand how to make those particular things. So, for example, at one point, had found a thing that gave damage resistance while crashing from making. Well, from using too much medicine. So, like that bar underneath the health bar that builds up. If you end up, let's say, overdoing it, like in this case, if I use, let's say, 2 healing items in a row, go into a crash state, which means that heals just won't work whatsoever for several minutes. And so this would mean that in order to offset that, you could also augment your armor in a way that gives you a defense boost or like an offensive boost or something like that, if you're currently in that state. So again, just like another thing in that pile of, yeah, that sounds like the sort of interesting thing that that they would have done, but you know, if they had the means to do so at the time. But okay, let's just kind of keep going this way. I don't know why it's saying to go up here. As far as companions go, yeah, turning off companion permadeath was probably a good thing in this case. I mean, as much as I liked the idea of supernova mode in like Outer Worlds 1 and whatnot, thinking back on it, I'm not really sure how much it actually added. Because, like, the companion permadeath just meant that you didn't get to do the companion stuff, which, it doesn't really do much, is the thing. Like, it just kind of cuts stuff out and doesn't really give anything that's necessarily that much more worthwhile. The end result of 2 supernova runs was that I just didn't end up using companions, which is a bit of a shame, considering that they're kind of fun. So I wonder if that's meant to look like Claptrap or not. Anyway. Alright. Now, why does it want us to go in there? Let's just turn the radio off for the moment just to get some of the regular music going. Let's see. What the hell is this? Yeah, that's the one I thought I was doing. Huh. Alright. Yeah, actually, that in terms of negatives on this game, the map situation is far from ideal. That is for dang sure. It's like, as far as the map goes, your fast travel points are a bit of a pain in the butt to actually go and actually pinpoint, as you saw right there. It has a tendency to lean off towards things that you can't select for some reason. When it comes to telling where the actual waypoints are supposed to be for where you're going, honestly, the fact that it has the option to turn them off entirely, I've been tempted to just go select that multiple times, because so many times it just points you in some direction that seems entirely irrelevant. Not really sure what that's about, but this seems like the same kind of problem that this sort of format has been running into since like Fallout 3. So, But yeah, I know the waypoint system seems a little fucky, but that's again kind of always been the case. I'm pretty sure everyone can remember back in Fallout 3 when you had those cases of like, oh, you're supposed to take the subway, but then your location is over there, but you can't get to that location because the waypoint is like 3 miles that way at a completely irrelevant subway entrance, and or is a place that you plain cannot get to. Oh. Right. Not what I was expecting to run into here. Yeah, I'm trying to electrocute that guy. If you're wondering, by the way, why I'm firing in just like a random location, this thing, if you hit it, it seems to work like if you hit it in one particular location and kind of leave it lingering, it stays and builds a bigger and bigger bubble. And additionally, as far as the companions go, at the moment, both of them are built to potentially be a bit more tanky, and as soon as one of them goes down, the other one gets dramatically stronger. So we'll see how that ends up playing out. Needless to say, as soon as I end up going and doing this thing, I don't know when the guy that actually does those runs normally will get to it, but like the idea of a complete, a YOLO run of this kind of thing sounds very entertaining. That's largely just to how many different different stealth and cover mechanics and whatever else there are. All right, get the healing cloud going. Oh, actually, there's another mechanic I forgot to mention that's, I guess, more of a Borderlands kind of thing in a way. So if you hit somebody with a particular debuff, You actually will end up stacking that thing more and more and more, kind of leading to different versions of the debuff and what have you. It's like with this whole shocking thing, that's what I was mentioning earlier, like if you keep missing with it, it just keeps making an electric bubble that zaps things nearby. That's why, again, stuff is occasionally dying from behind cover, so there's that.
Back in business. To the rescue. Sight unseen. Someone call for a medic. Let's get you
She talks too much, though. Probably my favorite companion character. Talks way too much. I kind of wish I could just tell her to not do that. It's kind of pretentious. I know it's thematically appropriate, but very annoying all the same. Alright. These things are still zapping. Alright, get a little bit of wine. Some random items, mini rockets, which I guess are just a craftable material, and or potentially a new ammo type. I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out later, but it seems like ambushes are kind of the name of the game out here. Alright. I got used to finishing up the first area. Okay, actually, sorry. Let me take a step back and explain something about the pacing of this game. So it, just like Outer Worlds 1, it has this interesting balance where you sort of finish an area and then you're sort of the master of that particular area until you get to the next area, and then stuff is way more dramatic as soon as you do that. And so, for example, on the first planet, got really used to just running around absolutely dominating everything, and now stuff is way more intense on this particular place. It's a lot more beatable, but there's a lot more stuff going on in general. A lot more traps and ambushes and whatnot. Alright, this place just seems like it was kind of ransacked. As far as enemy selections go, so far I've preferred 2 to 1. Like, don't get me wrong, on that one, New Vegas probably does win in terms of sort of your enemy placement early on. But stuff like the Crabbles and various types of dinosaurs and whatnot on the first one was a lot more fun than the frickin' like monkeys. All of that stuff in 2 was a lot more fun than the monkeys in 1. Those felt very MMO-esque to me. It was like, oh, here, it's this funny monkey thing, and then it just flings a boulder at your face and you die, and it's like, oh, guess what? Levels. You need levels. And or these things just take a bajillion shots. It's like, I'm not sure this monkey should be this durable. I don't know. Actually, one point for this not being a New Vegas kind of thing, water kills you instantly if you fall in it, though I guess it's kind of space, so it's like some kind of space water or something. Still feels a little silly, but oh well. Alright. Yeah, platforming's handled way better, though, so that's something. Alright, get one of those. What's this? Sprout hide. Okay. I'm expecting the ambush at some point. This is unreasonably easy so far. Like, everybody got friggin' eaten, that's all well and good, but seriously, what gives? This is unreasonably smooth. Alright, whatever, sure. So anyway, how was everybody's Thanksgiving? Did everyone have a decent turkey day? Anyone got any fun stories to share or anything along those lines? Any kind of awkward relative stories or what have you? Because I got absolutely nothing to share. I was like hanging out with the dogs and then went to work, and even at work there wasn't really a whole lot in the ways of funny stuff happening, just because there were no customers today. It's like it was just like an entire evening of just listening to Hercule Poirot novels. All right. What are you? Is that a mine? That looks like a mine. That is almost certainly a mine. Yeah, I don't have the points to disarm that. And never will. There's another one over there. For some reason, the perception skill is not activating for them right now. Apparently I can detect regular ones, but not whatever these red variants are. Oh, well, that one I can detect. Good to know. I mean, that's nifty. I still can't do anything about it, but oh well. The skill was successfully used. Oh, nice. Thank you, Regretted. Appreciate the $5. Unexpected out of nowhere. Heretic lover. Well, I mean, I can't help it. The one thing that definitely turns you away from the church is being raised in, the Catholic school, so it'll just do that. Also, is this a mine? Yes. Right, now, that set them off. What are these? Those are moving like drones. No, those are people. Okay. Let's go ahead and hide over here. They're going to walk into their own mines. Fantastic.
Time to earn my commission.
Right, now just let them run to their own mines. We're fine. Yeah, I should probably just break out the repeating rifle here. This is exactly the situation that it's for. What's up? So far, everybody is being very quiet is mostly what's up. But, I mean, it is to be expected. It is that hour of the day. There's a few folks here, but mostly it's just nice and chill. But yeah, so far, as far as points for whether or not this counts as a New Vegas sequel and whatnot, so far I'm counting 7 points for yes, 1 for no. So if anybody has anything to add to the no category that isn't something like, oh, well, it looks different or what have you, then by all means let me know. Because in terms of how they play, the sort of vibes of what they go for, the interesting combinations of different things, it is very, very similar in that particular regard. Alright. If you could go ahead and stop moving, that'd be great. Thank you. And you moved.
Recharging as fast as I can, Commander.
You lot couldn't hit the broadside of a freighter.
Alright. Thankfully, though, that perk that I picked up earlier that reduces my damage for improving the companion damage is very worthwhile. Kind of accidentally so. Considering that there's no, like, VATS lock on, which I guess we could probably put that as a technically no, although TTS is kind of the more fun choice in my personal opinion. But okay, let's see here. Let's see, about to get off work. Loved Outer Worlds 1. Glad it got a sequel. Yeah, I mean, genuinely the only kind of... Most of the negatives that I can put out there are largely just due to the price. So you bring these and get a time, wires and blue casings, not blue paint chips or blue hydraulic tubes, intact optical lenses, breaking them in half does not count for double, any cracks mean you don't get anything, punch cards from inside enemy guns, do not punch extra holes in them, bring all scrap to drop site 14C, that's 14C, 10 plus 4 plus C. Bring whole scrap. One armload of scrap gets one. So Adrena time is basically like Turbo from New Vegas. Do not bring strings, bugs, shiny rocks, Manosaur bits, anything rusty, or anything that goes boom. If you bring any of these, no, no drugs for you. Fun, fun. Anyway, I think this area is probably fine. Okay, more explosives, more burst rifle. I mean, this thing's pretty good. Actually, one cool thing that they added in this one is something called the designator attachment. So it's like if you put that on a gun and you target somebody with it, you more or less order your companions to go attack that thing exclusively, which is pretty nifty. Like again, it's a lot of stuff that would potentially have been. It's kind of a shuffle between perks and items and whatever else that kind of worked out interestingly here. Like the fact that most of your ammo upgrades so far, at least this far into the game, have been stuff that you attach to headwear of all things, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it potentially gives you a reason to use stuff like cowboy hats because they can't really give you a perception bonus, considering perception gives you something completely different in this case. Being able to use stuff out in the field rather than going through a menu is something I'm always going to appreciate. Like if, for example, you have food in your inventory and you currently are not on full health, your outside of combat, your healing button will actually turn into a consume food button. So you'll just kind of snack on whatever you happen to have in your inventory. That's a dude. Okay, I was going to say, is that a mine? It looks weirdly similar to the mines. Alright. I mean, despite this one having a lot more lens flare and glare and stuff like that, it hasn't hurt my eyes like Outer Worlds 1 did. Like, I loved Outer Worlds 1. And I'm about to get blown up. Whoops. So, like, right there. Just got a snacking indicator, and now we've snacked up to full. And as much as I loved Outer Worlds 1, the visuals really hurt my eyes. I don't necessarily know whether they just sort of like upped the contrast between stuff here. I've just found it a lot easier to tell what stuff's going on. Additionally, there have been just more indicators, like let's say you're done with a fight, you'll get little loot indicators in case you missed anything that you potentially could have picked up over the course of said fight, but it doesn't spoil, let's say, going through sections like this by telling you where stuff is. Instead, it's exclusively stuff that you would have picked up, during said fights or what have you. So there's that. Alright. Yeah, I think this area is probably about done. Alright. Alright, something going on over there on the right. Let's see. Yeah, if you ever need to tell how much of something is somewhere, and whether it's a hostile faction, just kind of throw a shot into the air and see how many indicators pop up. In this case, there was nothing, so we're just going to head over this way. Yeah, the stealth system has a lot more features to it. Whether or not that's good or bad in your book depends on how much you like screwing around with this stuff. Again, this feels very Deus Ex in that particular regard. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to sneak down there, put a bunch of mines nearby the entrance. And I'll just kind of continue on from there. Oh yeah, and as far as running out of mines and things, you can go pretty wild with the mines here. Like if you have the right combinations of perks, you can just turn anything into explosives. It's pretty great. Alright, 2 layers of mines should be okay. trying to get an idea of where this guy's at, and then we're going to try to find a decent spot over in this direction. It's going to verify if anything's over here. Okay, there are dudes over here. What about you? What, are you a scrapper or not? Okay, you are also a scrapper. Yeah, you actually can do some pretty funny stuff with mines. Like, I stacked a bunch of mines on top of each other. So, like, for the skeleton crabble, I didn't really have weapons that were particularly good against it. But by knocking it high enough, you could actually use the gravity to kill it, which I found hilarious. Let's see, that's a nice list of quality of life features. Let's see, did you design your character yourself? Yeah, you can. If you want to be a quadruple amputee, you absolutely can. So, like I was saying in the first impressions video, whenever playing through games like this, for my first playthrough, I typically like to just, do the usual, just make yourself kind of approach. And so what I did was, since I got carpal tunnel in my left arm, I just gave myself an amputated left arm. Just sort of felt very appropriate. But yeah, you can replace whatever you'd like in that particular regard. Gets pretty detailed as far as the face and stuff goes, since you are expected to potentially play this in third person, which is, again, another change that I really like, because I'm one of those weirdos that likes playing New Vegas in third person. So, appreciate that little thing over there. Let's go ahead and throw down mine over there. Yes, they are comically huge. That's okay. Alright. You're kidding me. Freaking tiny vulture thing. Don't you be the thing that causes us to break concealment. Anyway. Alright. Sir, I need to borrow your skills. Get over here.
No offense to Val?
Yes. Get over here, human Edie.
Sure. Always happy to tour
Need
around
you to
for
build stuff.
What did you have in mind?
Alright, so crafting-wise, I would like new things, like, for example, more acid grenades, just made out of whatever. See, more compact rounds, already got plenty of those. More concussive mines, can make a gigantic pile of them. It just gets faster and faster. More distraction devices. Yeah, I really like the innovative trait, by the way, if you haven't noticed. It's like, oh, you need something? Yeah, sure, you can just craft anything. Just make a ludicrous pile of whatever. Alright. Let's go ahead and replace these biomass grenades with 32 mines that we just made out of nowhere. Alright. And so my plan, provided this all works out correctly, is that we're going to go over here, go over to this camp, start popping some stuff over here. Reinforcements come from this direction. Those guys step in those mines, go boom. Companions finish off the rest, and then we sweep through the camp. As soon as reinforcement starts coming in from that first camp that we reached, that's when the 2 layers of mines go off over there. And we should be pretty good. All right. And if you wanted to, you can just go around whipping out a knife and go stabbing some throats. But I don't have enough points invested into that particular one. Alright, and these guys have a Dragoon, so we're going to go ahead and drop a gigantic pile of mines right here. As soon as they activate their robot, it is going to be a big old mess of toast. Perfect. Okay. So with that said, let's do a little bit more observing, see if there's anything else. Oh, by the way, you also have real-time indicators for how much damage you'll do to something. So, for example, if we just sort of aim at different parts here. Yeah, I don't think I have enough points invested to be able to tell how much damage bonus we'll get off of weak spots. Because, yeah, you specifically have to invest in the right skills to understand weak spots and stuff like that, and this character currently does not. So, alright. Let's go ahead and do this thing. Alright. Save completed. In fact, I wonder... I never actually tried to see if you could trick them into running into a pile of mines using distraction devices. Oh, well, too late for that. Alright, good. That Dragoon is toast. That thing probably would have burned through any and all ammo that was available. They've got somebody that's starting to approach relatively close here. Beautiful. And that's why we keep the shotgun around.
Give the order, and I'll take care of him, Commander.
To the rescue! Sight unseen! Happy to help! Street.
Oh yeah, I never even talked about knockdown mechanics, by the way. So you actually can do a lot of stuff with that too. So like one of the bosses, I did run into a bug where I wasn't able to get the right information to get somebody to back down from the fight on account of some shenanigans that happened with what seemed to be scripting, I think.
Outside, Commander.
Okay, there we go. And so yeah, there was a fight versus a pretty absurd Giga Boss kind of guy. And yeah, one of the things that was doable was just to throw a bunch of grenades at his feet just to keep knocking him over and ragdolling him. So you do still have options, even when it seems like there aren't any. Alright. Some of these. Yeah, I kid you not, ran into one of these in the first zone there. Thing took like friggin' 500 shots to kill. Anyway, take some screws, take some of these things. You have gained screws. Nifty. I don't know that that necessarily needs an update, but good to know. Alright, a little bit more scrapping here. It doesn't look like anything's coming from that initial camp yet, but we'll deal with that in a moment. Alright. More scrap metal. I wonder what the hell is over here, though. Oh, hell. That's always a good sign. Like, there's just another robot over here. Although... Huh. Alright.
Error. Navigation system offline. Unable to locate designated bound. Greetings. This unit is unable to fulfill its programming.
This guy looks like that one janitor bot from the first one.
Duties. This unit is unable to execute its programming due to tampering. Navigational and other systems have been compromised.
Let's see, is this on PC? Yes, this is currently on PC. They sent an Xbox code, but for Microsoft stuff, it's basically the same.
Return to Matriarch's mercy to dispense medical care in order to fulfill its programming.
Let's see, need hacking or... I don't know what that other one is.
Farewell, potential qualified engineer.
Okay, well, I won't necessarily have the points to actually do that anytime soon. So one of the things that I intentionally happily scuffed with this character, because I love doing that in this particular case. So with flaws, one of the perks that you can pick up is called flawed. So life hasn't been easy for you, but you've learned to power through it, through any of your disadvantages, and come out better for it. Warning, this flaw drastically changes the experience and is not recommended for your first playthrough. Flaws must be accepted, but you gain an extra perk point every 5 levels. This bonus is retroactive. And effectively what this means is that, yeah, the first ones that I picked up were intentional. So like consumerism, you're the reason our marketing works. Promotions and sales have riddled your brain, and you're more interested in buying the next big thing than financial planning. And so you get negative 15% vendor prices, but also negative 10% sell value. Then had bad knees, so years spent crouching have really done a number on your knees. They ache and squeak, but as long as you stay crouching, you can ignore the pain. So plus 50% crouch speed. Crouching emits a 10 meter radius sound that hostiles can hear and investigate. But then from there, it forced all of the following to be accepted. So Hermit, your self-reliance has made you an outcast. Vendors are less eager to sell to you and prices are increased, but you gain a chance to receive double resources when you break down items. So 25% chance to get double items when you break something down, but plus 50% vendor prices. So I basically can't buy things from stores anymore, which is all the better, honestly, considering some of the stuff we'll see pretty soon here. So easily distracted. Your skills are erratic to say the least, but a jack of all trades is oftentimes better than a master of one. You can raise more skills faster, though it'll be harder than ever to maximize any particular one. While leveling, you can only add skill points to your lowest non-zero skill or any skill you have no points in already. So plus 1 skill points gained per level, but yeah, you're constantly just going for the lowest ones, which is funny because that's oftentimes something I have a tendency to do anyway. So, it's one of those games where you feel really seen. Anyway, so reckless leadership. Your leadership techniques leave a bit to be desired, and with your companions often finding themselves in harm's way. You are no longer able to revive your companions in combat, but whenever one does go down, the other companion will get a boost. They are fully healed and immediately fill their companion ability meter. So that's potentially useful. It's also why I went defensive on them. So dependent. Some lead from the front. You tend to lead from the back as much as possible. Becoming dependent on your allies. You deal less damage in general, but gain a large bonus to damage if attacking an enemy your companions have recently attacked. So negative 10% damage plus 25% damage to enemies recently damaged by a companion. And considering that you can just order them to go and stack on somebody, this is basically just like free 25% extra. But this is probably the funniest one so far. You just have to have it. Kleptomania. It doesn't matter what it is. If it isn't yours, you want it. You'll occasionally steal things automatically, but anything you've stolen sells for slightly more. And again, the warning of this flaw significantly changes your experience, while in settlements, not advised for players looking for a relaxing experience in towns. Plus 100% vendor buying prices for stolen items. But yeah, no, that's basically to offset the fact that you're constantly paying off your own bounty to make up for the fact that people catch you stealing stuff the second you see it. Oh man, it's again, the thing that makes this New Vegas like, and something that even New Vegas itself didn't have the means to achieve because they had Bethesda looking over their shoulder, is that they were so much more willing to take risks on this one for some reason. I guess it's just because they had that Microsoft backing or something, but like they were very, very willing to let you completely fuck your save file, and honestly, I respect the hell out of it for that. It has led to a lot more fun of an experience. I mean, compared to Outer Worlds 1, where a lot of the perks, as interesting as they were, did have a tendency to feel a little, samey at times. In many ways, I feel like this one did do that particular thing a decent bit better. Um, but anyway, like they went crazy on the whole role playing side of things, which I respect. Anyway, there's a dude. Now there's a dude that is damaged. Alright, please do not have any arc firing weapons, because there's a lot of weapons that can fire in a damaging arc. Alright, go run into the mines, please. Goodbye. Oh, that's fun. we go. That's another one gone.
All charged up.
And yeah, if you want to keep looking down your sights while reloading, it just kind of offsets your sights instead of completely taking your sights off, which also, is just one of those appreciated things. I love the fact that you can find what is effectively the Lelunge carabine, just kind of laying about in the starting area.
Out of sight and on the way. To the rescue. Sight unseen.
Ma'am, please shut up. Like, best ability, please stop talking. But again, Outer Worlds 1 also had the same problem where they just kind of repeated their action lines a bit too much. It's just kind of cheesy. And yeah, granted, this entire experience is all about the cheese, but still. Then again, also compared to Tau 1, I have to say that the weapon selection has been a lot more New Vegas-y. Like, stuff has been introduced way slower. Like, we're still fighting with, revolvers and repeaters and stuff like that, and this is, 15-ish, 15, 20-ish hours into the game here. Whereas by by this point in Tau 1, you can be running around with, like, friggin' light machine guns on everybody. Like, heavy armor, light machine guns, just running around like friggin', shock troopers and whatnot. Oh, I got knocked down. Where did you go? I still have some unused mines here. Oh, hell. Okay, that part's not ideal. Apparently the water is filled with ziranium, which is basically legally distinct radiation. Yeah, so they have radiation poisoning coming back in this one, except, again, they just call it ziranium. If you have the right science perks, you can also weaponize it for your own ends. But yeah, no, it's like the water is irradiated, and and you occasionally run into boxes that are irradiated and stuff like that. And just like Fallout 3, you have a mission to go and let yourself get irradiated to a certain degree in order to go research it. I think I forgot to actually turn in that particular reward too. So that's a thing. Maybe should go and do that at some point. It's also on a completely other planet, which is a surprisingly trivial matter to get around here. All right. Yeah, funny thing about that kleptomania perk though is like if you just sort of preemptively go and and steal things that are in sight, then you don't have to worry about getting yourself in trouble later. Wait, do I have to redo all that looting? Maybe not. Let's see how bad this relooting situation is. Need to remember to not jump in the water, because the water is apparently made of deadly lasers. Alright, chug that. Collect some of these things. I find it weirdly satisfying that you can just auto-munch your food at the click of a button. And while you could potentially make that argument of, like, oh, well, I guess that means that all the food items are the same. I mean, yeah, to an extent. They also kind of already were. So, like, even when it came to stuff like New Vegas, everything with exception to, like, the drinks were largely the same. And then the survival items, and in this case, you have sort of alternative versions of the same idea. So that's kind of... Okay, I guess that will be one point in the going to New Vegas category there. But still. Alright. Come to think of it, wait a sec. Why the hell was I wearing the trench coat, aside from the whole brand loyalty thing? Wait, what's this? If you tilt your head and squint, maybe it'll look like no, it's still a hodgepodge of random junk. Oh my god, it's beautiful. That is delightfully shitty. Oh man, it's okay. So we got like what is effectively khakis underneath assless chaps, complete with a scrap belt, some random attachments. Is this meant to be XCOM armor? This is like XCOM 2 armor. All right, let's see. What's this one supposed to be? The plasma inlays have minimal incidence of breakage during expected use conditions. Shame you don't really do expected use. Well, I mean, it's got a cool little mini cape on it, I guess. But it is heavy armor, so I do not care. Which I forgot to mention the ghillie suit. So the reason that I had this on at the start of the video here. So cauterizing materials, you no longer take damage from burn, instead healing while burning. As well as plus 20% damage resistance while gadget energy is less than 50%, which it should be all the time. It's too bad this thing looks ugly as sin, but whatever. Got the sniper cloak over here. It's not much of anything. Got some heavy armor that really does not have the defensive value that you'd think for something that looks this chunky. Got like a propaganda suit. Dress well, lie even better. Although, interestingly enough, does not have a speech bonus of any kind, which is kind of weird. Like there just are not as many skill bonuses. But yeah, that's kind of whatever here. I'll stick with the ghillie suit. Because yeah, the ghillie suit. It's pretty fantastic. And yeah, 20 plus. So 20% resistance anytime that your skill bar is under 50%, which again should basically be all the time if you're fighting stuff.
Got a distraction for you. I'm back.
Really should invest in the perks that actually tell me what weak spot damage is looking like.
Perhaps still a bit sleepy.
Alright, almost gonna get the heal ability back.
On the way. To the rescue. Sight unseen.
Yeah, there's that bonus suddenly coming in.
Let me know when you need a distraction.
Alright, almost did the same thing there with that water. Yeah, so far I haven't really run into this game's boon as of yet. So no one's just like showing up and making heads disappear.
We're here. Free hole in the head.
Happy to help. Discreetly. Let's get you healed.
Right. Oh, also another thing I should mention. So ammo is actually surprisingly scarce in this one on a regular basis. So like compared to Outer Worlds 1, it definitely is noticeably a lot less available. The only reason I'm actually able to keep doing this whole just like throwing absolutely everything in the other direction all the time thing is strictly due to what's it? that one perk that allowed for all the other crafting stuff basically allows you to do the junk rounds thing from New Vegas. So you can just like make a bunch of ammo out of just random crap you find laying around.
Guns cocked and loaded. Let's get this in.
Craft back in business.
The one you need to worry about. You lot couldn't hit the broadside of a player.
All right. There they go. They hit the first layer of mines.
Someone call for a medic.
Man, why is this guy so resilient? Holy crap.
Yeah.
Give it. Don't make me have to.
Okay. Dandy dandy. Just go around collecting stuff, eating stuff. I kind of wish you could pick your mines back up, but considering how easy they are to craft, again, see pile of 30 of them just kind of sitting around right now. I mean, I kind of doubt it was an intentional balance thing because you can pick up mines that you see out in the field and what have you. Maybe there's actually a perk for re-picking up your own mines. I don't know. All right. Some of these things. I mean, definitely don't shoot at them. Kind of would have expected more stuff to be out here. What is this? Joint actuator? Oh, okay. Plus 80% energy recharge rate. Huh. Interesting. Well, that is... Huh. I wonder if we can potentially just, like, get permanent slow-mo time with this. Alright. So, let's see how fast this recharges. Oh, that's very fast. Holy crap. Huh. Alright, well, how about that? Might actually have to get rid of the cowboy hat. The whole reason I was keeping that was for the extra ammo capacity. Let's see, toxicity drain rate. I don't know, maybe. Huh. Alright, well, it's got a cool jacket vibe to it. That's nice. Salvaged armor, that's from Tau 1. Yeah, there's the same hat that I just took off. I think we'll just run with this for a little while, see what it feels like. I mean, it is a little kind of going against itself, I suppose, because I'm getting a damage bonus for being under 50%, then also using this thing to kind of go lower in terms of what 50% is. That's a weird way of describing that. I'm just making that the window of time shorter by equipping this. But if we can keep going into more slow-mo time, that'd be pretty nifty. And additionally, kind of want to try out some of these other new weapons here. So we got like the burst rifle over here that's using long rounds. Should have a decent amount of those. Only 191. Alright. what is our crafting situation on long rounds?
Any. Need something, Commander? Sure. Oh.
Alright, so as far as breaking stuff down, marks weak spots, or this one's an electric one. Go ahead and break that thing down to get some black powder. Break down that one also. We'll get a better trip blade at some point, because the trip blade is basically a spear, and I know that probably just like Outer Worlds 1, I'm pretty sure you can get that thing to be a sort of electric fire spear, and that's what I want to replace my melee weapon with at some point. Okay, break down all junk, switch over to this. Okay, so long rounds. I can make quite a decent number of these. Okay. Yeah, this is why innovative is a good perk. Also, I gotta appreciate the weirdly specific nature of this assault rifle, too. So, they specifically went for a 2-round burst, which...
When I first joined, and it seems all
Yes, okay.
that relay ain't a threat anymore. Uh-huh. I've heard that one before. Ain't had... As for the rest of your organization, can't really say. They hate corporations. I've heard that much. But what about... No. Look, I'm sorry. I ain't intending to get into any grievances here. Let's just say I'm a little... ain't seen evidence of it yet. But maybe you're liable to prove me wrong.
Okay. Anyway, sorry, I wasn't intending to start a conversation there. I was trying to put the rifle away. So, a funny thing about this, and I might be wrong with this, but as far as I'm aware, the only rifles to bother doing the whole 2-round burst thing were, I think, was like AN-94 or something like that. I don't know if there's anyone that's a bit more of a gun nut here. But specifically, it was one of those like weird Russian designs or something that was trying to do the whole thing like, oh, everyone else is doing 3, well, we're gonna do 2, and it'll be the cooler version, you guys, we swear. But it was just one of those ones that apparently had all kinds of weird logistical issues, and that's why it never really took off. But it's, I don't know, it's always kind of interesting to see when weird designs get used for stuff like this. Granted, my knowledge on that particular subject just comes from there's like random cases of like looking at histories of random weapons and what have you, and just like, oh, hey, look, here's this weird thing somebody attempted at some point, and here's all the various downsides that came with it. Isn't that interesting? To which my answer is usually yes. That is pretty interesting, actually. I don't know when I'll ever need this information, but it's neat all the same. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and try out this thing. As good as I like that repeater, something like this could be a decent bit more useful. Oh, it does have a scope on it. Well, something of a scope anyway. Yeah, if you adjust your camera when you're in places like this, it automatically goes into first-person view. And another interesting thing is if you don't like what shoulder it's at, you can actually swap your camera's shoulder as well. So, like, if you prefer to have it over the left side, that's an option. Again, a lot of things in this that are just sort of here for the sake of, I guess, somebody just randomly had the idea one day and they just kind of decided to put it in there. That's why I say that this game oftentimes feels like modded New Vegas. This is just like all these random features that honestly probably wouldn't have been there in any kind of initial meeting or what have you. But then they had all this extra time, I guess, and just started making stuff. Alright. Now, what are we dealing with here? So this is a companion quest, I know that. Because I recognize the name. Okay, that's all well and good over there. What is this? Some kind of ships or something, I guess? Or I guess it's like a train. Some kind of space train kind of deal. some kind of pod racing train, apparently. I have no idea. Looks cool all the same, though. Alright. Now, the instructions for this thing were to arrive separately, so dollars to donuts, this guy gets captured or something. Because it's looking very empty, and there have been ambushes absolutely everywhere. Alright, not exactly what I meant to do, but that's fine. I was trying to use one insta-snack button and press the wrong insta-snack button. Because you know what? Sometimes a game just needs multiple snack buttons. Of course. Alright. Lockbox. Alright, current supplies, 2 months of food and water. Container with basic medical supplies is enough to live for now, but it certainly won't sustain us. Have to secure aid from an independent third party just to survive and to avoid the baleful eye of the Protectorate. Okay. So one of the terminals contained a thing about what happened here. Okay. Where is the guy, though? There's the guy.
So you did come. Good. I'm not partial to working with those given to second thoughts.
Look at this hell-gassed ass guy.
I don't know what transpired, but whatever it was killed the refugees to a person.
He says, usually being the cause of such things.
Strong stomach. But if you've any reservations about witnessing destruction visited upon the innocent, you'd best steel yourself. I hope your words are true, for carnage is a more than apt descriptor today. I've some theories on the refugees' killers, but I remain unsatisfied. Although I am not required to do so as an arbiter, I would care to acquire proof. We operate under the Sovereign's indefatigable will, thus we do not need proof. But my training was somewhat unique in that it emphasized the value of thorough investigation. Let us comb the remnants of this charnel house.
Alright, well, let's see. Robot's gone, head smashed in. Seriously, are they going to bring back the monkeys with this? Please don't bring back the monkeys.
Been saved. They simply hadn't deviated from the paradigm.
Yeah, I kind of love the like reinventing what is totally not Caesar's Legion as like two different versions of a cult that can't really decide what they believe in. It's like one of them just has a religious zeal towards just kind of towards following their kind of exact religion to a T, whereas the other ones are all based off of following sort of math formula for everything. Let's see, 2,400 to a level, so not too far away. Yeah, this place is pretty up there in terms of its requirements. Though I'm only 1 point away from having access to Hack 5, so as soon as there's a level, it's going to be a lot easier to get the information for this one. I don't know if it necessarily makes that much of a difference, but if it does... Though I will say, whether you consider it a point towards it or not, the yellow paint has been replaced with yellow draperies in areas where you can jump. Though the way that they're set up in only occasional jumping areas almost feels like a situation where it's almost making fun of that particular trope, but judge that how you will. See, the wavelength history is relatively uniform, appearing to indicate shortwave transmissions at semi-regular intervals. One frequency, however, does not even remotely match the other sent by this radio tower. It stands to reason that someone tampered with the transmission array in order to send the signal. And yeah, I permanently cannot use science on this character, so no clue what the hell that would be. Hack is about as close as I can get, and unfortunately, yeah, skill points wise, oh, no, wait, I'm 2 points away from that. Which means... I mean, technically it is doable. I'm forced to invest 1 point into melee, and then... I think... No, I think it would immediately lock off hack, so that's just not going to be an option. And so far, I haven't seen any kind of armor or whatever else that specifically boosts skills, so... That's neither here nor there. Alright. Ooh, silent sniper rifle. Interesting. Uses heavy rounds. Let's go and replace... Oh, I don't want to replace the shotty, though. The shotty's really good. Don't want to replace the pistol either, because I'm like... Fine, we'll temporarily replace this. Ooh. The zoom. And it's silenced too, so that's just pretty darn nifty. Yeah, this feels like it's going to be the, what was it, the Gobi campaign rifle from New Vegas? Feels like it's gonna be its equivalent. I didn't even look at the stats, it's just everything about it feels just like that one would have been. Yeah, Hack 5 is just not gonna happen. Let's see, did I already go through here? I feel like I did. Yeah, I can't lockpick. This... Let's see, is there going to be a medical check in here too? Because it feels like there's a skill check in every room. Okay. Now the real question... Yeah, there's an explosives check. There is just stuff hidden all over the place here. By any chance, sir, can I just speech check you into ignoring that any of this exists? Man, engineering is my best skill here, and I can't even do anything with that. Alright, well, I've learned nothing. What can you tell me?
I cannot help but feel a pang for these people, cut down without a hope of defense. We must uncover what transpired here.
Let's see. Found something. Found a tower, it's pretty damaged.
Share of destruction. I maintain that it feels deliberate, judging by the still standing buildings. Was there anything remarkable about it?
I think the refugees used it to talk to people. Uh,
You know that is what transmitters are used for, yes? Transmitting and receiving communications. Am I getting through to you? Never mind. Did you have anything else?
God, it's too real. All right, let's see. Found a terminal about the
Perhaps it might allow
defenses.
us to ascertain the final moments of the camp's machines. See if any final commands were sent before the camp's destruction.
The defenses seem pretty resolute in theory, but automechs are also easily manipulated, so we can engineering check our way past it, or they were probably here to give massages. Automechanicals love giving massages. Oh, I love that. Yes.
These automechanicals were probably doing a lot of massaging with their plasma weaponry.
Uh,
That automechanicals would fall in the camp's defense is logical. That there would only be one is not. Did you notice anything interesting about it?
think you committed suicide. It's pretty sad if you think about it. Dude, I love having the dumb trait on here. It solves so many problems.
This was the first ever example of an automech committing suicide. Congratulations on finding it. Must be the shortwave, as we already found the long band. Odd that our assailant would pay it any mind.
It's not tuned to pick up any of my favorite cereals, so it's boring.
You have some unusual priorities. You're certain you've combed the place to your liking? Then let us debrief and see if we can't deduce what transpired here. Have you any theories as to what killed these people?
I mean, robots were hacked, stole their stuff, they ran off with the robots. uh, Perhaps the bartender was lying. Maybe the broker killed these people. All right. No, I love, again, the dumb option. Theories. I don't do theories. Prepare to be blown away by the truth.
Considering your spot-on observations thus far, I find the prospect of what you're about to say concerning.
Oh, man. Let's see. This was a spa, but all the automechs broke down and made everyone sad. See, it was me. I killed these people, or this was an Auntie's Choice Purpleberry suicide cult. Everybody knows about those. Oh, man. The spa break. Oh, man.
And they were so sad they died. Yes, I understand your reasoning and shall now make sure I cease understanding. Waylay this line of questioning permanently. Did you at least decipher why these people were killed?
Oh, this is great.
That relay tower in the rear of the camp was clearly not built by the refugees, but stolen from the Protectorate, which likely means that they were Protectorate as well. The refugees must have used it to listen in on Protectorate communications, then sold what they learned to Sub Rosa. After the Vox Relay's recent destruction, High Command would have ordered a security sweep of all communication systems. This outpost's relay would have returned a signal. Upon learning of this camp's existence, they'd have dispatched a sentinel to cross off any would-be traitors. Hence the destruction we bear witness to.
And because the character is a space ranger, if only we found this dastardly sentinel, they can answer for their crimes.
I admire your enthusiasm, but these refugees were traitors to the Protectorate. Though I still believe there was a solution here beyond complete annihilation. Now with that finished, we... Hold. Some things approach. Be ready. I suspect someone has disapproved of our inquiry.
Seems the machines returned, bent on eliminating any stragglers. To arms!
Gas still recharging.
Give the word and I'll take care of him, Commander.
Okay. Ah, hell.
I'm the one you need to worry about. Hey, got a distraction for you.
Dude, I love this thing. It's a friggin' sniper grand.
Frags raring to go.
Oh my goodness, there's a lot of them.
Someone call for a medic. To the rescue. Right on speed. Have to help. It's free.
Ready to take the heat off you, Commander. Just say when.
Well, shoot. Don't have trauma kits. Dang it! Gotta go through all that again. Although sometimes it does a decent job of auto-saving before a fight, so we'll see if that happens. I say only sometimes as opposed to all the times, because it did have a few moments where it pulled it off correctly. A lot of times it would be like 30 seconds before you started the fight and what have you. So hopefully it was on the good end of that. Also, rather than that shotgun, probably should have been using the electric cannon there, because it actually does stuff against robots, but hey. It's more fun to do the pew-pews. Okay, where's it going to be? Where is it? See, I would complain about the load times, but considering my frame of reference is is playing Outer Worlds 1 on the PS4, yeah, that thing had some pretty appalling load times. Alright, so first of all, I need this shot cannon in place of the shotty.
Seems the machines returned, bent on eliminating any stragglers. To arms!
Alright.
Up to, but I'm not ready.
So what we're going to do this time is what I should have done the first time, which I also probably couldn't have done. But when you know that something is going to spawn somewhere, that is when you break out the absurd amount of mines.
Ready if you need help.
Got a distraction for you. You rock couldn't hit the broadside of a freighter.
Out of sight and on the way. Someone call for a medic.
That was a hardy engagement. You held your own admirably. These automechs will never be used to perpetrate such heinous acts again.
Okay. Also, where's Niles? I need to see about heavy rounds.
Need something, Commander? Sure, always.
Can I make heavy rounds? And if so, what does it take to make heavy rounds? Because a sniper rifle is amazing. To make those, need more black powder. Holy crap. Make 100 of them for that much? Yeah, yes please. Okay, go to breakdowns. Got the designator burst, got the regular burst. Yes please, we'll trade that rifle in for what appears on its face to be roughly to the tune of 600 rifle or sniper rifle rounds. That seems perfectly fine. I mean, between the different perks, I don't, or the different traits, I don't know what the other ones give you, but yeah. Okay, not long rounds. Where's heavy rounds? Heavy rounds. Where are you? Heavy rounds. Oh, 12 black powder. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, trading in a bunch of weapons to be able to do that is a very different story. Alright, break down all junk then. That gives 1 black powder. Kind of tempted to maybe, yeah, probably retire the prism thing. Because I have a better version of it now. And to that extent, I do really like the progression as far as the weapons go in this case, because you can turn all of your old weapons into crafting stuff to the point that you can completely skip shops entirely if you want to, and just sort of intentionally live off the land, as it were, which is a nice feeling. I mean, it's the kind of thing that you would make a challenge run out of in earlier games, and it's just a playstyle here, so that's good to see. Alright. What is this?
I believe we're at the end of our investigation. The prospect of sharing our findings with the broker isn't terribly appealing, but we've little choice. I will locate my wretched Sub Rosa transport and return to Free Market Station. Pleasure fighting beside you. Be sure you return to Free Market Station to debrief with me. Despite our work here...
Okie dokie. Sure, why not? Funnily enough, that's still like 5 quests away from gaining a level at any point, but whatever. Okay, where to next? Maybe this one. Yeah, might as well. Got that one, which I'm nowhere near to. We've got this one. Probably should have just teleported right into the ship, but whatever. It's fine. And yeah, this whole thing of keeping score up to this point, I guess we'll throw another one into the yes, it is totally New Vegas 2 in terms of dealing with encounters by chucking a shitload of mines underneath stuff. I'm still waiting for some arguments against it at this point. So yeah, let me know. Because yeah, the original question, the original point of this stream was just like, does this count as a New Vegas sequel, kind of, sort of? As far as I'm concerned, it totally does. Alright. Because yeah, I could see the argument. Oh, shoot. Not a good time for the controls to lock up. Really, controller? Anyway. Oh, man. I love how that's happened pretty regularly. I think that's a factor on when it comes to the controls locking up. The Steam Deck controls are not really meant to be used in Windows, which is the only reason that this is running right now on a Steam Deck, because it's just a whole workaround thing. So, yeah. Come to think of it, on the question on is it on PC from before, yeah, I mean, it's also on Steam. That would have been the way better code to get, but whatever, it is what it is. Anyway, shoulda, woulda, didn't. They never sent the Steam code. But yeah, playing this on with a dual boot going on, every now and then it just sort of gets stuck holding in a particular direction, which will make for some interesting stuff down the road whenever whenever maybe some challenge runs of this are attempted, considering that they can only be done in streaming mode because I have no space actually left on the hard drive here for being able to do videos, because it just keeps altering itself over and over. Kind of a weird situation there. Alright. So let's attempt that again, this time with more going to the correct location. There we go, do one of those, go into the incognito. It's pretty neato. Go check out the pet crab, which I was really expecting to travel around more, because you can have pets on your ship, but they are stuck to their little area, so that's fun and neat and things. Yeah, I never really did talk about the ship much, did I? I mean, really, this is something that they carried over from Outer Worlds 1, but they do a really good job of making you feel your progress through your ship. So, like, you have certain upgrades that you pick up right here. So the high security lockboxes, different areas have them. You have to get decryption keys as a sort of a prize thing, and then you get sort of unique options out of here. So, for example, the remote detonator is basically C4, except you don't need to have a separate weapon kind for it. It's just a weapon all its own, and then you reload it to explode it. You got your usual trophies, like from Outer Worlds 1, just hanging out all over your ship. This particular one was weird to me because, like, there's the Raptidon Queen, but where the hell's the Crabble? The Skeleton Crabble, or the Skeletal... Yeah, I guess it was Skeletal Crabble. I thought was the cooler of the two, and, yeah, interestingly enough, didn't end up going with that upgrade. Ooh, what's this? Oh, yeah, so if you pick up art pieces, apparently you bring them back to your ship, which is an interesting use of your time and resources, I suppose. What's this? Free market schematics, blueprint of the ill-fated, now deconstructed ACS free market. They don't make them like this anymore. Yep, that's the thing that crashed into a planet because somebody didn't get their promotion. Yeah, this is for the premium edition or what have you. Season Pass reward liberated from Spacer's Choice in the hostile merger. The beloved Moonman mascot is now free from all intellectual property protections and thus subject to merchandising blitz of display collectibles. It's not the best choice, it's the only choice. Which is kind of neat, I suppose. It's just sort of hovering there. Though, interestingly, when it comes to your actual quarters on your ship, there's basically no reason to go here. So the reason that you'd use them in Outer Worlds 1 is you would just go to the safe and or, stuff over here. You would have your storage area in your sort of, your ship and what have you in order to store your stuff. But there's no limits on how much you can carry for Outer Worlds 2. So, like, your entire inventory is with you at all times. You don't actually go and store stuff, which is... it's interesting. It's one of these things that I would expect to be upset about because I love making, just weird piles and collections of stuff, but also it seems to make things run better, and also it's just convenient to always have your stuff, so there's that, I suppose. Let's see, what are you up to?
Can't say I'm thrilled about aiding an arbiter, especially considering he ain't been forthcoming about his motives. Hope it don't come back to bite us. Anyhow, was there something you needed, Commander? Oh, I see. You're here to gossip. All right, let's hear it. Who do you want to talk about? Seems friendly enough, if a mite guarded and a little thick-headed in his view of Auntie's choice. Regardless, I can assure you I'll treat him with the same respect I show you. Though I reckon he's seen his fair share of struggles over the years, no matter how he tries to hide it. Think he ought to ask for help when he needs it.
Okie dokie. Yeah, as far as companions and, like, progress on getting a full team and what have you, by this point in Outer Worlds 1, I feel like I would have had most of the team already assembled. They'd be running around having conversations all over the Unreliable and what have you. There was a lot more banter. This one feels a decent bit more serious in that regard. But I guess it makes sense. And the other one, it was more of like a, more of like a space vagabond vibe for that one. For this one, you're meant to be, like, this is really more of like a Mass Effect parody in many ways. It's like you're going around as a, totally not Spectre doing the whole secret agent thing, except the secret agent that the agency that you're secret agenting for is possibly completely broke and also seems to have next to no influence outside of showing up in comic books. So again, I love that as a concept. It's just fun. Not to mention these posters, man. Somebody really made these posters go hard. I'm just saying. It's like this particular one. That what the hell is that situation on the left? Is that an old lady? Is that a dude with a wig? What is that? Why do you have some kind of weird onion turban situation going on? And why on earth do you look like you're trying to just hold in the worst fart the world's ever seen? Also, if you remember the free market or the like, yeah, I guess it was free market or whatever else from the first Outer Worlds. Like, yeah, check how much that thing evolved. Like, it's just sort of crashed into a moon here, but dude, this visual is so freaking cool. I love it. I don't even remember what this reminds me of. This is just stunning visually. Like, even with the graphics set down to no, it's just nice. All right, let's see. Require bit transfer. Look up your own bounty. No outstanding bounties. Okie dokie. Good to know. We're about to have one of those.
Yeah. Hear anything good?
Not terribly. My only field-bound compatriot is stationed in Golden Ridge, and all she repeats is endless military.
Ship protection
Nope,
for
nope.
sale. Don't want to come back to a hole in your fuselage, do ya?
I sure as hell ain't going back to Tau Ceti.
Can't chit chat. I got a line on something big at the moment.
Uh huh. Uh huh. Do do do. Trying not to steal stuff. Do not look at the items. Do not look at the items. Do not look at the items. Make your roleplay a mental disorder. That's that's a next level amount of commitment. All right. Ah, crap. No. Stole some juice. I don't know what the range is on Kleptomania, but it feels like like you just sort of absorb items like a magnet. It's weird. Ah, crap. Sir, I am so sorry for robbing you.
Greetings again. Hope that little day excursion you and I jawed about is going well. Libations or information? What's your poison? If you were running a less than legal group, would you want everyone knowing your agents' identities? I don't think so.
God, this became weirdly relevant.
Have friends and family elsewhere. Auntie's Choice and the Protectorate predominantly, but some order. If their identities somehow got out, those friends and family are suddenly going to look like much juicier targets. It's safer for everyone this way.
The encampment had been raised. I'm sorry to say there were no survivors, but I believe we were able to uncover what transpired. I'm not entirely convinced that your method of investigation wasn't some form of performance art. I'd say it was entertaining, but I'm not sure it was the place for levity.
I'm surprised. Didn't know if you had it in you, especially with an arbiter in tow. But you got what was needed. Not bad at all. I'd be happy to direct you to the broker. First, though, we've got a small issue. There's a malfunctioning lamp in the basement I need someone to take a look at. Here's a keycard to get you down there. You mind?
If I look at a lamp, is it gonna hurt my eyes? Oh, dumb is the best trait. Let's see. Normally I charge for tasks like this.
Trust me and go give it a look.
Okay, so I'm assuming that's gonna be the broker down there. Levels! Except all my level ups are chosen for me. So give me observation. I guess give me engineering. Sure. Very locked in terms of what can be done here. This is the most generalist build ever. Okay. Is this how you get down there? How the hell do you get down there? Is this a stairs? Apparently this is a stairs. Also, I gotta say, the sort of like three-dimensional sound and whatever. Yeah, we're gonna close this. Intentionally steal those. Alright, now what is this? Yeah, the 3D sound is good enough that I actually had to go look at a vent. Like when I was doing that thing earlier. Okay, so you can... Okay, so you can get in here by other means. This is definitely a Deus Ex event if I've ever seen one. Okay. Give me one of those. I can't use them, but we can sell them later. Probably pay off the bounty that'll inevitably end up getting added. Right. Okay. Steal that waistcoat just because it looks cool. Alright. Obvious thing is obvious. Go ahead and close that up. And what do we got here?
Anyone had asked me, I'd have put the odds of a live arbiter finding his way into my chambers at 1 in a few trillion. Good that you didn't come here for blood, Arbiter Rao. Barney would have sniffed it out and broken you in twain. And I do disdain mopping up Protectorate corpses.
Armor covers up the stench pretty good. Jeez. Let's see. Quest update not found, or Schemes of the Secret Smugglers quest update not found. Interesting. So yeah, and it does usually tell you when you're missing something if there's a specific quest, just like if you want to go back and do it. Also, this guy... I wonder if this is meant to be similar to What's-His-Face from the first Deus Ex or not. Alright.
If this ain't an assassination attempt, it's bound to be something quite interesting.
If you know who I am, you must know why I'm here. My mentor died under vague circumstances, and I desire any information pertaining to the specifics of her death.
Interesting. That question appears to be at odds with High Command's public statement on the matter. Losing faith in your masters?
No. But I cannot shake the sensation that something was awry with her passing. If you know something, tell me. Please.
I could get used to this kind of groveling. Your instincts are right, Arbiter. Though we don't know the specifics, I received information that your mentor's body bore signs of a fight, and a nasty one. Someone killed her.
Yes, I knew there'd be intrigue.
But the important part is that I was correct. I knew I was right to be suspicious.
If that's all, I think you'd best get along. I prefer not to sully my quarters with Protectorate lackeys.
This dude looks like Johnny Gat.
Anyhow.
And I prefer to limit my time with scheming blackguards. Let us take our leave from present company. Speak to me outside if you would. There's something I'd care to ask you.
Run along now. I've spent more than enough time entertaining wayward sprats.
Nifty, nifty.
Yeah, how about this? I recruited a Protectorate subject directly from Bastion, middle of a Protectorate holding.
Think I'll congratulate you for risking your hide to recruit one subject? Forgive me for withholding my applause.
jealous of my charms.
Yeah, real jealous.
Every one of those little whooping sounds is just stuff randomly getting stolen.
We're all
Uh, find that way more entertaining than it should be. But thankfully, in a lot of these cases, it's stuff that no one's really directly noticing, and/or it's so valueless that nobody really cares. But yeah, you do get suddenly accosted with pretty expensive bills. All right. Though I also kind of want to take a look at whatever that armor was. Oh, that's kind of fancy. Sure, why not? That's kind of whatever. Let's see, plus 55 crit damage, plus 5% crit chance. That's actually pretty decent. Kind of creepy looking. Alright, I think we'll stick with this though. And yeah, I think after this we'll probably start wrapping stuff up because I gotta go do other stuff.
The Arbiter typically does not require the assistance of others. We are expected to act as wholly independent entities. But I fully realize that had I not your aid today, my investigation's progress would have stalled and withered.
Not at all.
I gauged your trustworthiness and did not find it wanting. What say we travel together? I hold my word in highest regard. Were I to pledge allegiance to you, the pact would be nigh unbreakable, barring some extreme action on your part.
Oh, we're gonna have an Outer Worlds 1 ending type situation.
I will keep to my convictions in any case, but I understand. What instructions would you have me follow? I should have considered this eventuality. I will listen to your words, and I shall follow your orders. I will not assail enemies of the Protectorate without your consent, though I will not like it. But if my sense of duty outpaces my willingness to comply with an order, or if you attack my brethren unprovoked, our relationship will come to an abrupt end. Excellent. I hope our working relationship is most fruitful. I'm sure we shall just...
Fine. But if this uptight tin can swings that hammer anywhere near me, there's gonna be trouble.
All right, but don't come to me with tears if your new friend decides to judge you the moment I've gone.
Let us be off, Commander.
Alright. Yeah, mostly I'm just curious to see what this Hellghast looking dude is gonna do. Supposedly, like I saw some people going and mentioning that they open up some options as far as perception is concerned, which is interesting. Anywho, so that is going to be more or less it for right now. So again, just to kind of reiterate what I was saying in the first place, like I can see where folks were saying that Outer Worlds 1 was just kind of doing its own thing, didn't exactly, do the whole New Vegas 2 thing. To my eyes, this one manages to kind of thread that particular needle. Like, as far as pretty much everything across the board. Like, visually speaking, in terms of giving you those kind of fun, surprising moments that, again, New Vegas tried to do but couldn't quite pull off. Places like this, while they did exist in Outer Worlds 1, you can definitely tell that they went a bit more above and beyond this time around. When it came to the perks, just the fact that so many things can potentially go wrong with your build, that you can wind up with a really just completely fucked up character and you can still just keep on going regardless, that's That's awesome. Like that's just good stuff in my eyes. Um, and not really much in terms of gear boosting your skills in interesting ways, so that's kind of technically a point against it. But like, I don't know. To my mind, this definitely feels like it sort of earns that New Vegas 2 title. Even on a technical level, it certainly feels like it's achieved similar things. I don't know why that is so freaky. Like the fact that this meteor is just a giant frickin' cube is weirdly unsettling. What is that? Why is that so freaky looking? I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, no, that like the sense of scale, definitely appreciating that. But yeah, no, in terms of the roleplay stuff, making your like weird character traits stick out in both in dialogue and gameplay and whatever else, I think they've done a good job on that one. So, so yeah, personally, I'm like we're gonna see how it ends up playing out over time. I'm hoping that they nail the ending better than Outer Worlds one did. The the first one had a problem in that they tried to do the Hoover Dam thing again, except I guess their budget ran out or something because it was really awkward about it. So my guess, more than likely, is they're probably doing that again, almost certainly. But I'm hoping that it ends up potentially working out better this time. Hopefully so, but that'll be in the full review whenever that situation ends up happening. But yeah, at any rate, that will be about that for today. The last thing I want to end it on is just the pet thing, because it's kind of neat. You have a little area over here, and you can have whatever pets you picked up. So like, there's this Crabble over here. Why is that so amusing? But yeah, you just sort of pick whatever you want. This premium edition came with this guy, who just sort of exists. Sure, why not? But Lucy the Crabble, who apparently does not like the mat, but she just kind of hangs out over here. Okay, maybe they do like the mat. I don't know. This is kind of a nothing feature for sure. um, given. Okay, there's also another thing where there's just a bunch of lockers here that sort of feel like they're supposed to respawn with stuff or something. Whatever. It's just kind of neat that you got a pet that hangs out in what is effectively your ship's garage where you go and craft things. It does kind of go against itself a little bit, I'd say, because, you got Niles that's always there to help you build stuff. Though, as soon as you start putting him away, there's that. As far as your equipment, if you end up picking innovative at the start, like really you're just never lacking for stuff as far as I've seen so far. Like you never really lack for ammo. You can just make it out of random garbage. You never really lack for explosives or what have you. Though, if somebody then were also to go for speech and pick up some perks that help with bartering and stuff like that, potentially there's a lot of a completely different playstyle over there. So it feels like yeah, your perks definitely have a lot of kind of effect on your playstyle, as it were. In fact, as far as speech perks, let's go take a look, see what that ends up looking like here. It's like going down the list of different stuff here. So let's see, Tall Tale Teller. You got to get Charlatan first. So if you're a charlatan, many of your lies are more believable and you'll be more likely to be accepted as true. Additionally, the likelihood that enemies will target you is reduced. Interesting. See, only your most outlandish lies aren't believed, and you being able to lie about even more things. Additionally, you gain a bonus to damage when attacking enemies that aren't targeting you directly. Interesting. A little bit of a sneak thing. So, Intimidator. So this is also something that sounds like it's from New Vegas there. So, dealing damage to weak humans or creatures frightens them for a short time. Has a cooldown between activations, shortens with your speech skill. Strong enemies such as leaders and bosses cannot be frightened. Okay, so this is more the Fallout 4 version, interestingly enough. So, wholesale spender, buying or selling items with a vendor accrues goodwill. Yeah, this was another one of those sort of interesting ones that you end up just kind of getting better deals as you keep going back to the same shops. Let's Let's see, Intimidator and Speech nearly maxed out, so scoring a kill will temporarily cause a human or creature near the target to be frightened for a short duration. Target flees from combat for 8 seconds, does not affect auto mechanicals. It's weird that somebody would invest 2 perks into this. I wonder why. Let's see, 200% sneak damage, invisible enemy or invisible to enemies. Oh yeah, I saw this one also on the list there. So if you're crouched when an NPC starts investigating you, you temporarily just go invisible, which is kind of neat. What are some more interesting ones? Let's see. Materializer can be charged, allowing its projectile to travel further and deal more damage. Charging the gadget costs more energy. Yeah, I didn't show that one, but the acidic dematerializer is like potentially if you're using that with a science skill, you can do some weird stuff with it. It feels like the old science weapons just sort of became gadgets this time. Let's see. Weak spots are highlighted. Damage delta is increased. I don't have the scanner. Yeah, where's... Let's see. When using TTD, you gain increased evasion chance, ignoring more incoming attacks. Yeah, 25% chance to evade attacks. Interesting. Anyway, though. So that'll be about that. I gotta get going. Probably should go get some sleep and such. So, y'all have yourselves a good one. Thank you for stopping by on this whole little ranty type of deal. And yeah, hope this was at least interesting. Have a good one and take care. We'll see you later.